Imagine a plane that only takes off when the world is on the brink of disaster. A plane that serves as a mobile command center for the President, the Secretary of Defense, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff in case of a nuclear attack or other catastrophic event. This is the Doomsday Plane, and in this video, we'll take you inside this highly classified aircraft and reveal its secrets. Since the invention of nuclear weaponry and its use in World War II, the world has lived in fear of nuclear war. This fear was heightened during the Cold War, when tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union threatened to push the world to the brink of nuclear annihilation. Amidst the heightened tensions of an arms race, both sides were actively creating more nuclear weapons, escalating the fear of a potential nuclear war. The United States military, deeply concerned about this frightening prospect, established various backup plans, readying for the eventuality of the country being pulled into a potentially disastrous nuclear conflict. One of these protective strategies is now referred to as the Doomsday Plane or Night Watch. However, to be precise, it comprises a fleet of aircraft. The concept was to have a mobile command center that could survive a nuclear attack and provide a base of operations for key decision makers and communication technologies. The first Doomsday Plane was made in the early 1970s and was known as the National Emergency Airborne Command Post. The name Night Watch was handpicked by the initial commanding officer of the squadron, which originates from the richly detailed Rembrandt painting, The Night Watch, that shows local townsfolk protecting a town. The VC-135A, a modified Boeing 707 airliner, equipped with a variety of communications and command systems, was United States' first doomsday plane. It was first used during the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 when President John Kennedy spent several days on board the aircraft as he and his advisors deliberated over how to respond to the Soviet threat. The Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962 is another topic that will be published in the coming days, so subscribe to our channel to keep watching similar interesting videos. The second doomsday plane was DC-130J Commando Solo, used by the US Navy as a backup doomsday plane in the 1970s and 1980s. It was a specially modified four-engine Hercules transport that conducted airborne information operations via digital and analog radio and television broadcasts. But E-4B, which has been in service now for more than 40 years, is a militarized version of the Boeing 747-200, delivered to the United States Air Force in January 1980, having a cost of $223 million. And as per a 2022 report from the U.S. Government Accountability Office, the per-hour flight cost of just one E-4B is almost $400,000. Early in the E-4's service, the media named the aircraft as the Doomsday Planes. One E-4B is kept on alert at all times, and is crewed 24 hours a day and 7 days a week, with the watch crew on board, guarding all communication systems awaiting a launch order.
A surprise alarm. The plane must be airborne.
E-4B aircraft is assigned to the 595th Command and Control Group stationed at Offutt Air Force Base, Nebraska. Fact: any plane in which the President of the United States or POTUS travels is called an Air Force One. So when the President travels outside of North America, using a VC-25A as Air Force One, an E-4B will deploy to a second airport in the vicinity of the President's destination, to be readily available in the event of a world crisis. If the plane is so expensive, it must be luxurious, right? But that's not the case. As the mission of these planes was initially to direct military assets during the Cold War, so they were only equipped with the necessary communication devices required for national leaders to get in contact. But the military quickly realized the potential benefits of a mobile military command center. Now, the planes are something of a Swiss Army knife, an all-in-one mobile command station equipped to handle numerous war-related crises. They can remain airborne for days at a time, during which national security experts could theoretically stay in communication. The E-4B is capable of operating with a crew up to 112 people, including flight and mission personnel, the largest crew of any aircraft in U.S. Air Force history. With the capability of in-flight aerial refueling, it can stay airborne for a considerable period. In a test flight for endurance, the aircraft remained airborne and fully operational for 35.4 hours, however it was designed to remain airborne for a full week in the event of an emergency. The E-4B has 3 operational decks, upper, middle, and lower. The upper deck contains stations for the pilot, co-pilot, and flight engineer and sleeping quarters for flight and maintenance crews. The middle deck contains the conference room, a press area, a battle staff area with windows with mesh to protect against the electromagnetic radiation, a data transmission room and in-flight crew beds. In lower deck it has a low-frequency transmitter which can transit signals till 5 miles along with some essentials like water tanks and power room. The Doomsday Plane can be used till 2033, but the U.S. Air Force, in 2021 and 2022, began developing a replacement for the E-4. The new platform is currently known as the Survivable Airborne Operations Center. In recent years, the threat of nuclear war has receded somewhat, but it has not disappeared entirely. This was made clear on February 24, 2022, when Russia invaded Ukraine. The invasion sparked fears of a wider war, and the hashtag World War III trended on Twitter as people around the world expressed their concerns.